Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, we've got the winner of the bottle haul video. I asked you guys to vote for the bottle that you wanted reviewed, and we had a three-way tie. I had to play tiebreaker. Actually, I didn't play tiebreaker. It was Michael from Beach Sand Bourbon. He left a comment saying that when I cracked it on the live, he was drooling, and that his wife told him if he got a bottle, she would actually hop on the review with him. Let's get it.
Bottle drop, bottle drop, bottle drop.
So it's funny how things happen. That was really the tiebreaker. That was the reason why I chose to do the Penelope Rio. Now, my palate is clean. I haven't had anything all day. You wouldn't know that. The honey that is in this thing, I wish I could really get this thing to pick up on camera. The honey finish is just all inside of this bottle, man. It is ridiculous. It's cloudy. You can see where it kind of, I want to use a word like coagulate and come together. That might not be the proper term, but you could just see it in the bottle. It almost looks like a tornado or something. But anyway, the other bottles actually got about the same amount of votes. Some of you guys, you didn't stick around to the end, and that's kind of my fault. I should have said it in the beginning of the video, but I said that the Horse Soldier was off limits because that was going towards a viewer's choice video. However, this is kind of a viewer's choice video too because I asked you guys to vote. If you can't tell by now, I am a Penelope fan. So my first bottle of Penelope turned me off. This thing right here, I've had this thing for years now. Years, and this is how low it is at a bottle. That turned me off to Penelope, but I gotta give a shout out to Chris from 925 because Chris had a toasted store pick in his store that I picked up and loved. Then I got my hands on, it was this one right here, which is just a regular toasted. Then I got my hands on a Penelope Architect build number 1, which I still have. Then I head down to Kevin's store at S&W, and he has a store pick that amazing. So then I am at a bourbon meetup, and I have another amazing bottle from Kevin's S&W, and it is the Rosé Cask Finish. And shout out to Dennis, man. Dennis, you know, Dennis, I got you. We've talked off camera about some other things, so shout out to you. But Dennis helped me acquire this bottle. Kevin was willing to come off this bottle for me, and I really appreciate you, Kevin. So all of the stores from Chris at 925 to Kevin at S&W, shout out to you. I mean, I have had some amazing Penelope since the first bottle that I've ever had. Now, I don't know, like I said, these things come out in batches. I don't know if they've gotten better from this bottle. I've never picked up this label again, but the Architects, I love them. The Toasted Picks, love them. Having the new Cooper series that they have going on, they are doing some great things. I can't wait to get those bottles on the channel for you guys. I hate making super long videos, so I'm not gonna do, because I almost thought about doing all 3 of them, but I said no, I am going to give the Rio its proper due. I want to pour myself just a little bit more. I feel like that's just a little not enough in the glass. I just don't feel like that's enough in the glass. I kind of feel like I need to shake it up a little bit to get a little more of the honey out of it and get it in the glass. Because like I said, I wish I could get it to pick up on camera for you guys, but it kind of gets like cloudy in there. And I just did blind. Sean, shout out to you, Sean, from Echoes in Eternity. And one of the glasses just looked different. It was cloudy. It had that look. And I remember seeing that exact same look in the Penelope Rio. And you know what? Shout out to B-Og, man. Shout out to Brian. That is my bourbon brother, bourbon twin, because that was the first time I had Penelope is when he set up a blind for me. So Brian said that he sent me batch 2, and when I had talked to Kevin, I was at his store picking up some bottles, and I told him that I had picked up a Rio, and he asked me which one I got, and I told him I didn't know how to tell, you know, batch 2, batch 3, and he said if you look here, I think he said that 23 dash whatever is the first batch and 24 dash whatever is the second batch, something like that. Oh no, I think 22 dash something is the first batch, 23 dash whatever is the second batch, and 24 dash whatever is the third batch. So I believe I have the third batch here. If I remember Kevin and our conversation correctly. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into it because I cracked it on a live. Like I said, Michael from Beach Sand Bourbon, he was like, man, I was just sitting there looking at it. He said, I was drooling. He said, my wife told me if I ever get that bottle that she would actually come on camera. Because right now, she is like the camera lady. When you watch his videos, she's the one behind the camera. He typically pours up 2 glasses and he has to slide one off camera. I really enjoy watching his videos. But let's get into the nose. Honey, a funk, super sweetness. It almost smells like it's almost like a smoky smell in there too, and that's the first time I didn't pick that up that night when I cracked it on a live. Yeah, almost like a smoky, like smoked barbecue and honey. That honey is very rich. Like that. This is the Cooper series. It's finished in honey and Amburana barrels. So they're taking their normal 4 grain and just experimenting and putting them in different casks. And the same thing with the rye. That rye, they just put in a Tokai wine barrel, aged it 8 years. Like I said, I can't wait to get that thing on the channel. Of course, I had to crack them. That haul was so long ago. I had to see what it was working with. And the same thing for the rosé cask. Now, the regular rosé cask, I believe that one comes in at 94 proof, if I'm not mistaken. This one comes in at 115 proof. So that's 57.5 ABV, and on the back of it, it says it's aged for 4 years. So that is going to be a nice one to get on the channel as well. I spoke highly of that thing when I went to Dennis's meetup. Let's get into the palate. That honey, that's done so well. You get a slight citrus note. You get a really rich honey that just coats the palate. It's got a really sweet vanilla on the front to the middle of the palate, mostly sitting on the mid. Across the back, I do get char. Across the back, I get char. It's not heavy, it's just light, and it's there. It sits there. Let's go back to the nose one more time. I can't explain it, but there is a funk that comes out of this thing, but it's got this really rich, sweet nose. That honey is very prominent on the nose. And that smoky barbecue, almost a little teeny bit of like an oak, not like a dusty oak, more of like maybe like a fresh cut oak, maybe almost like that when you're a kid and you're eating a popsicle stick, and like when you're sucking on a popsicle stick at the end, kind of like that. Maybe a slight hint of like a cinnamon note. Let's go back into the palate. Yeah, that's nice. It's got a little spice kick on the back too. That honey is so nice. This thing is done well. I did not think that I would see the Penelope Rio, so I never even bothered chasing it. Had it not been for Brad, and I can't believe I did not shout Brad out until this late in the video. Brad looked out for me. Brad hit me up because The Virginia ABC does not have these on its allocated list, so they can just have them on the shelves. And Brad hit me up and was like, I got something special. Do you want? Yeah, he looked out for me. So shout out to you, Brad. But now I see what all of the chase is about. Like I said, I didn't even think to chase these because I didn't think I'd ever see one. So I was like, okay, if I come across one, great, I'll pick it up. You see, I'm a fan of Penelope, but I'm not going to chase it down. Especially knowing that it was kind of in that lower proof range and it was finished. And like, you know, you guys watch the channel, you know that I am not the biggest fan of finished products. Now, I will, you know, try them out, give them a try, but I'm not going to necessarily go out and run and get one. So let's get into the breakdown. Is this worth the chase? I am going to have to say it is 100% worth the chase. I mean, 98 proof, finished in honey and amberana. It's got great flavors. It is done really well. I mean, I can't. Sometimes, and I've said this on the channel before, sometimes things can be over finished, and that is really off-putting to me. This is done perfectly. I am going to have to say this is worth the chase. Is it worth over retail? I would pay over retail for this bottle. I believe, and I can't remember, because Brad picked it up and I, you know, paid him back for it, but I think it was 100. I want to say it was 100. I want to say it was 100 because yeah, it was 100 even. You know, and then I gave a little extra for tax and everything. But I would go up to my 30 over retail. I think it is that good. It is an excellent sipper. It is not. It is, the proof on it is just right where it should be. Who is it for? I think this is for all levels of bourbon drinkers. Yes, it is 98 proof. Let's check that one more time. Yeah, 49 ABV. So yes, it is 98 proof. But I think a new bourbon drinker would like it. I think an intermediate bourbon drinker would like it. And I think an experienced bourbon drinker would like it. As long as you like finished stuff. And like I said, this is not overdone. This is not, it's not heavily finished to the point where you're like, man, I can't even drink that. But this is just a beautiful whiskey, man. I mean, I can't say anything else to describe it but that. Will it always be on a bar? I am going to try and nurse this thing because I don't know when I'll ever see him again. Maybe when the hype dies down, maybe if I go into a Virginia ABC and they have one sitting on the shelf and I just get that lucky, I can pick another one up, but I am going to nurse it so that way it can always be on the bar. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you're headed to a drop. Till next time.